Today we're going to talk about the most wanted vintage speakers that you can get right now. We're going to look at brands like JBL, Pioneer, Sansui, Kenwood, and even that controversial Bose. I'm going to tell you what models I think are the most desirable, collectible, and worth the most amount of money, from the most popular speakers of all time to some of the absolute most rare. The JBL L100s are one of the most famous speakers of all time. This may have been due to the fact that they were featured in one of the most famous audio advertisements of all time, the Maxell Blown Away ad. The JBL L100 was introduced in 1970 as a consumer version of the popular JBL 4310 studio monitor. The 4310 was widely used in professional settings, and JBL sought to capitalize on its success by offering a version for the home audio market. The L100 featured a 12-inch woofer, a 5-inch mid-range driver, and a 1-inch dome tweeter housed in a distinctive box-shaped enclosure, and one of its most recognizable features was the Quadrex foam grille, available in a variety of colors, which became a symbol of its era. At this point, most of those original grilles have fallen apart. The material was not meant to last this long, but there are a few speaker grill manufacturers out there that make great grill replacements that look just like the original, my favorite being Huntley Audio, who I will link to in the description. The L100 quickly became popular among audiophiles and casual listeners alike, renowned for its powerful bass response and clear detail highs. It was marketed as the ultimate home hi-fi speaker, capable of bringing studio quality sound into your living room. Its popularity was boasted by a combination of high quality sound, striking design, and effective marketing. The L100 became the best-selling speaker model of the 1970s, and the original L100 remained in production until 1978, after which it was succeeded by various models that sought to update and refine that original design. Now, despite the end of its production, the L100 maintained a cult following among audio enthusiasts, with vintage models being highly sought after in the secondary market. The JBL L100s were designed by JBL's head engineer Bart LaCanthi, but it would be his next speaker that would be Bart's crowning achievement once he jumped ship from JBL to their competitor, Pioneer. After Bart's tenure at JBL, where he contributed to the development of several iconic speakers and helped establish JBL's reputation for high-quality sound, LaCanthi joined Pioneer. His move was driven by a desire to explore new materials and technologies in speaker designs, an area where Pioneer was making significant investments. The Pioneer HPM 100 is a classic example of high-fidelity audio engineering from the late 1970s, designed as part of Pioneer's high polymer molecular HPM series. That's what it stands for, and I probably will mispronounce it every single way you can throughout this video. This series represented Pioneer's effort to produce a line of speakers that could compete with the best in the market, leveraging advanced materials and design principles to achieve superior sound quality. The HPM 100 in particular has become a sought-after model among vintage audio equipment collectors and enthusiasts for its sound quality and its design. The Pioneer sought to create speakers that could accurately reproduce sound of live music, a challenge that required innovations in speaker material and design. The HPM 100 was introduced in the mid to late 1970s during a period when the competition in the high-fidelity speaker market was intense, with companies striving to push the boundaries of what was possible in sound reproduction. The design of the HPM 100 was influenced by the expertise of Bart LaCanthi and his team, who brought a scientific approach to speaker design. The HPM 100 featured a 4-way speaker system, including a 12-inch woofer for low frequencies, a mid-range driver, a tweeter for high frequencies, and a super tweeter designed to extend the high-frequency response even further, even though I can't hear it. This setup aimed to cover a broad frequency range with clarity and precision. The speaker is capable of handling up to 100 watts of power, making it suitable for use with the powerful amplifiers that were becoming popular at this time. The cabinet design was also a key aspect of the HPM 100's performance, with careful attention paid to the construction and materials to minimize unwanted resonance and ensure sound quality. The aesthetic of the HPM 100, with its distinctive wood finish and solid construction, reflected the quality and craftsmanship associated with high-end audio equipment of the era. Its enduring popularity is a testament to Pioneer's success, creating a speaker that not only met but exceeded expectations of its time, continuing to be celebrated for its performance and its design. The Pioneer HPM 100 has always been one of my favorite speakers. If you come to the store, you'll always see these on display in both the consumer version along with the clear acrylic dealer version. The Bose 901 is one of the most iconic and polarizing loudspeakers in the history of audio equipment, representing a radical departure from traditional speaker design principles at the time of its introduction. Developed by Amar Bose, the founder of the Bose Corporation, the 901 hit the market in 1968 and quickly became famous for its unique approach to sound reproduction, aiming to mimic the experience of live music more closely than conventional speakers could. Amar Bose's inspiration for the 901 came from his dissatisfaction with the sound quality of high-end speakers available in the late 1950s and the early 1960s, and after attending a live concert, he was struck by the vast difference in sound quality between live music and what he experienced from his home stereo system. This led him to research the spatial distribution of sound in live settings, concluding that significant portion of what we hear in live performances comes from reflections off walls and other surfaces rather than directly from the instruments or speakers. Now, the Bose 901 reflected this insight into its design, featured a direct reflecting speaker technology that was revolutionary for the time. Unlike traditional speakers, which primarily aim sound directly at the listener, the 901 was designed with 8 drivers mounted in a pentagonal configuration in the rear of the enclosure with only one in the front. Now, this aimed to recreate the effect of live sound by dispersing it throughout the room, and this setup used only one of its 9 drivers to project that sound direct towards the listener, with the remaining 8 aimed backwards. To manage the complex acoustics resulting from this design, the 901 required an active equalizer that was connected between the amplifier and the speakers. If you tried to play it without this equalizer, it would sound absolutely awful. This equalizer was critical to the system's performance, compensating for the natural imbalance in sound that resulted from its unique dispersion technique, ensuring a balanced frequency response across the audio spectrum. The Bose 901 series challenged conventional audiophile wisdom and received mixed reviews at best. Some purists argued that the speaker's emphasis on reflected sound compromised accuracy and detail. Despite these debates, the 901 gained a substantial following and became one of the best-selling high-fidelity speakers in the world for that time, and over the years, Bose released several iterations of the 901, making improvements while staying true to the original design philosophy. The speaker remained in production for decades, a testament to the enduring appeal and the loyalty of its users. Although Bose always had a controversial marketing approach and is often considered more of a marketing company than a speaker company, nobody can deny the success of Bose's most famous product of all time, the Bose 901. Kenwood gained a reputation for producing some of the most distinctive speakers during the 1970s and 1980s. Among these, the Kenwood KL777S stood out, notable for its massive 16-inch white driver, capturing the attention of audio enthusiasts. However, the pinnacle of their lineup in terms of size was the Kenwood KL10000Z. The Kenwood KL10000Z is celebrated as the ultimate example in kabuki speakers, which are distinguished Japanese-made speakers from the 60s to the 80s, characterized by their impressive specifications: a minimum like 15-inch woofer, at least a 4-way crossover, and no fewer than 6 individual drivers make up a kabuki speaker. And as far as the Kenwood KL10000Z, this 6-way 8-speaker bass reflex design is uniquely designed in 2 separate sections that combine to form one monumental speaker unit. One section houses a 16-inch thermal treated bass driver, a 6-inch mid-range, and 2 horn tweeters. The other contains a 10-inch mid-range, a directional horn, 2 tweeters, and a control potentiometer. Weighing in at 92 pounds each, their substantial size limited sales, making them a rare find today. Notably, these speakers were among the few speakers that actually came with assembly instructions, starting with joining the speaker boxes together, then attaching the base and the top board, and you would have to secure those boards with mounting screws, and then finally add the grills on. Now, the KL10000Z stands as a colossal and striking speaker system, reflecting Kenwood's bold design and paralleling the ambitious speaker production by its competitor, Sansui. Now, Sansui too ventured into the realm of crafting substantial kabuki-style speakers, releasing several models over the years, yet the SPX 11000 stands out as their most grand creation. Mirroring the Kenwood approach, it featured a 2-piece assembly with 8 individual drivers, including 2 uniquely corrugated 17-inch cone drivers, a pair of mid-ranges, 2 horn tweeters, and 2 super tweeters. With its lattice grills, it not only served as a high-fidelity sound system, but also also as a decorative piece of furniture in your living room. In the 1970s and the 1980s, high-fidelity systems were more than just a means to listen to music. They were an integral part of home entertainment, often blending seamlessly with a home's decor to enhance the listening experience for homeowners and their guests. There are countless collector speakers out there from the 1970s and the 1980s, but these are some of the most wanted speakers of all time, at least for me. What about you? What speakers do you think are the most collectible of all time? Your most wanted speakers, be sure to let me know below in the comments. You know YouTube already knows what video you want to watch next. Well, it's this one right here. So if you like the video you just watched, you're absolutely gonna love this one.